I'd like to introduce Sarah from England, who takes LDN for multiple sclerosis. Welcome, Sarah.
Hello.
Could you tell me when you first started to notice LDN symptoms?
It was in 1990. It was just literally overnight. I got up one morning and my left leg wouldn't lift off the ground. And then I went to the doctors, who arranged very quickly within a week to get me into a Liverpool hospital for tests.
Mm-hmm. What symptoms were you having at that time?
The only symptoms I'd had, which I wouldn't have connected with MS, was pain across into my shoulder blade every now and again. Not very often. And when that morning when my leg wasn't coming off the ground and I went to the doctors, he said to me, "I think you have MS," and I've suspected as much for 3 years.
Wow.
So it was obviously connected with the pain in the shoulder every now and again.
Relapses, I guess, yes. So what were you offered at that time?
In the way of medication, nothing.
Yeah. Right.
I stayed in hospital for the week, and they basically have always said they couldn't offer me anything.
Mm-hmm.
Until, I had LDN, which was 2 years last November. It was the first thing I've ever had.
So in that period of time, before you started LDN, what were your symptoms like? You know, what was your daily life like?
I was working right up to December last year. My left leg, it started in my left leg back in 1990. But then it's about 5 years later, it went into the right leg. And now, these days, the right leg is far worse than the left.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally only my mobility, I would say, in my legs. And in the last 3 years, I'm predominantly right-handed. I very much noticed that my right hand and arm aren't as strong as they were. In fact, the left is stronger, and it's now seemingly going into the left a little bit. It's stiffish.
Okay. I mean, did you suffer with any, fatigue, bladder problems, burning, cognitive problems?
I did have bladder and bowel problems that were very loose and that was about 2 years ago, and then I started taking LDN, and that sorted it out.
Mm-hmm. So what other symptoms would you say LDN has helped with?
Definitely the mobility. I'm having some really, really good days. I mean, I know I go to the gym, but I've been a member of the gym for 5 years now, and I've been taking LDN, so I say 2 years last November.
Mm-hmm.
So I am having some very, very good days, when I'm really mobile. It's fantastic. And then I can have a bad day. But I'm getting more good days than bad, I would say.
Well, that's good. How did you hear about LDN?
With someone I know who's in the MS Society, and I met her through a gym.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me about it. And I looked into it, and I spoke to yourself at the time. And I got it through my GP. He got permission to give me a prescription. I receive it via a prescription through my GP.
And where do you get your prescriptions filled?
Well, my GP, who's fantastic, sends it to the people in Ireland. Can't think of the name.
Do you mean Dixon's in Scotland?
Yes, Dixon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
He sends it there directly, and they post it out to myself, to my home address.
So that was quite an easy process for you then, obtaining
Yeah.
the prescription. When you first started, did you notice any side effects?
None at all. Never have.
And how long would you say it took before LDN started to work for you?
Well, within the first few months with the bowel and bladder problems, most definitely.
Hmm.
And after that, I can't say 100%, I'm 100% sure, because it's only in the last, this year really, I've really started to notice that I'm having some far, far better days mobility-wise.
Hmm.
And I would put that down to the LDN.
What would you say to other people who are contemplating trying LDN?
I definitely would recommend that they try it. I would. I've told a lot of people about it.
Hmm.
The massive thing is that there aren't any side effects. I definitely think it's worth a try. And it's patience.
Yeah.
Nobody says it's a miracle, and maybe it works quicker for others, but I've kept on going with it. And I think I'm just starting to really see noticeable benefits now. I mean, but definitely within the first few months, my bowels and bladder were sorted.
Hmm. I mean, we've had some people that have said, similar to yourself, what they hadn't noticed any improvements at all until about 15, 18 months, which is quite amazing, isn't it? But they had stabilised, they hadn't, progressed any further with a progressive disease. That's good news in itself. But it does seem, some people respond quicker than others.
Yes, yeah.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your experience with us.
That's all right.
Thank you.
That's all right. Okay, thank you.